Hey, it's me, Deneen L. Garrett, and I am sharing my podcast coaching journey. I shared a few weeks ago that I was starting something new and feeling the fear and courageously doing it anyway. And that's doing solo episodes. So getting in front of a camera solo, um, uh, producing a podcast episode solo, that's something that is out of my comfort zone. So I'm not really going to say that any longer because I've done it a couple times. I did it when I first introduced the video that I was going to do this podcast coaching journey. I did it on LinkedIn, talking about Self-Care Sunday and sharing the plants that I had purchased that day. And now I'm back at it. So it's not as much outside of my comfort zone any longer, but I'm going to go ahead and share my journey. So I met with my podcast coach a couple weeks ago, and we did our first consultation. And since then, I have taken action because I am that type of person who does. I like to check off things off my list and keep it moving. So I do enjoy that. During that first consultation, I mean, we could have just stopped there. I walked away with some good information, armed and ready to go ahead and make things happen, level up, which is what this podcast coaching journey is about. So two things that came out of our conversation, one was around SEO, which is the search engine optimization. At the time, I really was clueless about it. I've, of course, seen it over and over and just didn't really understand how to use it. And since that meeting, I have a better understanding. The other thing that we talked about was I have two websites and I really didn't want to manage both. And so we had a conversation about streamlining. So I'm happy to say that I've taken action on both. I'll start with the website. So with the websites, DeneenLGarrett.com, which you see there, that is where I have my podcast episodes. I was also sharing my lifestyle. So my living a dream lifestyle, I shared that on that particular website. And then I have Deneen Consult. So Deneen Consults is the business. It is how you access me for coaching, for consulting, also for speaking. And so I was managing both of those. And like I said, I wanted to streamline. So after a conversation, made the decision to Deneen Consults to be the main website. So the hub, if you will, or the umbrella, and definitely point to the podcast. So I'm driving traffic to DeneenConsults.com, and there you will learn about my services. So my coaching, my consulting, speaking, as well as the podcast. Now, if you are so used to DeneenLGarrett.com, you go there, that's fine. You will, get access to the podcast episodes. So I'm happy to say that I've done that. And so that was good. I'm very proud of myself for doing that. So let's talk about the SEO a little bit. So Danielle Desir Corbett is my coach. I've been following her, connected with her for over 2 years. When I launched my podcast in 2020, there were so many different voices out there, and I only wanted to hear from one person. And we built trust virtually. Just watching her and watching what she was doing, having a WOC podcasters community, and really pouring into us, investing in us by providing so much great information free on her Facebook, in the Facebook community, and then also a membership, a paid membership. So following her and doing the work. Anyway, that's where I went to learn about SEO. So there's a woman who has, she is an SEO expert, and she did a session on SEO. And so I'm a little bit better educated or more educated after watching that hour-long session. So what I took from that is that there are keywords that you want to use when you're writing your descriptions. So you can speak to those fine. However, the search engines are moved or driven by words. So you want to find out what those keywords are. So she provided us a list of 101 actually topics that we can discuss that would help to drive and move the SEO. And so also suggesting that there are different searches that you can do to find keywords. And so incorporate those keywords in your description, titles, etc. So I walked away from that. And so from those 101, and they were actually blog ideas, I am looking through that and picking out some podcast ideas. So going forward, I will be more strategic in the conversations that I have with my guests. So for those that have been following, who have been listening, subscribing, and all of that, you know that we talk about elevating the voices of women of color. So that definitely is not going to change. However, I'm going to be a little bit more strategic in some of the questions that I may ask, definitely in the keywords that are in the description, as well as in the titles. So keeping the search engine optimization in mind, because the thing is, like I've said, my goal is to impact millions of women of color. And in order to do so, I have to reach them. And so in addition to you all sharing and talking about the podcast, and encourage others to listen or watch on YouTube, the search engines help too. And they're definitely, that's what they're set up to do. So I'm excited about that and how I'm going to incorporate that into my strategy going forward. So I had my first session. So our onboarding session was this past Saturday, and it was great. It was another great session. One of the action items I walked away with was coming up with a new description for the podcast. So if you ever paid attention to the description, I talk a lot about how I got to the point of the podcast, and less about, well, this is what the podcast is and what it can do for you. So I'm moving into the direction of this is what it is and what it can do for you. So again, these are some things or outcomes of working with a coach, an expert, somebody who is an expert in whatever that subject matter is that you're wanting to level up in, hiring them, working with them, taking their recommendations, and definitely taking action. And so as a coach myself, again, I am modeling the behavior, right? I am demonstrating what it looks like to be coached. I'm sharing with you all my journey and letting you know how valuable it is and beneficial it is to have a coach. So another thing that we talked about, and this is even just going back to the first session, which again, that was a free consult. And I walked away with three major action items or three action items that definitely would impact. The other one we talked about was considering moving my podcast to a different platform, and a platform that would give me more information around stats. So y'all know data rules, right? Folks want data. You're reaching out to people and you're looking for sponsors, or you're looking for this, you're looking for that. A lot of times they want to know about, the downloads, like your metrics. And so what I was using was limited in the information that it provided me. And I was like, I'm only getting this, this number definitely doesn't, match the effort and the level of work that I put in. And she said that, I don't think you're getting all your information because of what you're using. And I do suggest that you look into something else. And so I made the decision to go ahead and use what she uses. And I am so happy that I did. It was an easy transition. It was just a matter of putting in an RSS feed, and everything just moved over. And so I'm very excited and definitely seeing numbers that are more in alignment with the work that I've put in. So I'm very happy about that. So sharing my podcast coaching journey, just to kind of recap where we are. And this is part of that, this is me actually moving or living out the SEO, the search engine optimization. So I'm talking about it, and I also, put it in the notes. The thing, so something major or helpful is how to, right? Steps that you take to do things, and kind of recapping. So things that people can walk away, answering questions is kind of a simple way of looking at it as well. So what I've done in this video is I'm sharing with you my podcasting journey. I've shared with you 3 things that my coach and I talked about in the free consult. So that was SEO, search engine optimization. So, getting a better handle on that. It was also streamlining lining my 2 websites. So again, still having both, however, driving traffic through one. So making a decision as to which one, you want, if you're in my situation, which one you want to actually drive people to and through. And moving to a different platform, a platform that will give me more information, more data that I can use when I am looking to work with other people, when I'm looking for sponsors. So I am excited. The whole reason that I'm even doing this is solo, whether it's in front of the camera or doing a podcast audio only. Solo has been outside of my comfort zone. So I'm no longer claiming that. So you can do it. You can do it as well. So thank you so much for tapping in and listening to me talk about my journey. I'm Deneen L. Garrett. I am the creator and host of An Intimate Conversation with Women of Color. I'm also the CEO and founder of Deneen Consults, which is my speaking, podcasting, coaching, and consulting business. So if you want to reach out to me or you want to work with me, learn more, go to deneenconsults.com and let's get it going. Again, thank you so much. So now, as far as the podcast episodes, the normal interviews with guests, with empowering women who overcame things, who are on their own journeys, who are living their dream lifestyles, you can check that out. New episodes drop every Friday. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you for tapping in and checking me out. I appreciate you.